There is a moment most men past 50 will recognize, and almost none of them will ever say out loud. It is the night you stop reaching over. Not after a fight, not in anger. You just lie there and you decide, without really deciding, that you are not going to try tonight, or tomorrow night, or maybe ever again. And the strangest part is the relief. After years of reaching and being turned away, giving up feels like setting down something heavy. That is the trap, because the relief is a lie, and tonight I am going to show you exactly what it costs you, what it is quietly doing to the man you have left. And near the end, I am going to tell you the one thing that separates the men who quietly disappear after 50 from the men who come back to life. Stay with me, because if you leave early, you will think giving up was wisdom. It is not. It is surrender wearing a calm face. Here is the road. First, I'm going to describe the quiet giving up precisely, so you can see whether it has already happened to you, because most men cannot tell that it has. Second, I'm going to explain why it hits specifically after 50, why this decade and not before. Third, I'm going to show you the real cost, the part nobody warns you about, the slow erosion that masquerades as just getting older. And then, at the end, the thing that brings a man back. Do not skip ahead. The ending only makes sense once you have seen the full shape of what you are walking out of. Giving up after 50 almost never looks like a decision. That is why men miss it in themselves. There is no announcement, no conversation, no line in the sand. It looks like 1,000 small withdrawals that each seem reasonable on their own. You stop initiating because the rejection is not worth it anymore. You stop bringing it up because the last 3 times turned into a cold week. You start going to bed at different times and you tell yourself it is about your schedules. You build a quiet, parallel life inside the same house and you call it peace. And the thing that proves it has happened, is that you stop being disappointed. In the early years, the rejection stung. You felt it. Now you do not feel much of anything, and you have mistaken that numbness for acceptance, even for maturity. It is not maturity. A man who has made peace with his marriage feels warmth toward his wife. A man who has quietly given up feels nothing and arranges his days so he does not have to. If you have stopped expecting, stopped hoping, stopped even letting yourself want it, you have not found peace, you have evacuated, and the building you walked out of is your own life. Look at the small evidence. You schedule yourself to be tired before bed. You let the television run late on purpose. You have learned the exact distance to keep so that nothing is asked of you and nothing is offered. None of these are dramatic. That is precisely how they escaped your notice. Giving up does not arrive like a storm. It accumulates like dust, one ordinary, reasonable night at a time, until one day you realize you cannot remember the last time you tried, and you are no longer even sad about it. So why this decade? Why do so many men hold on through their 40s and then quietly fold somewhere after 50? It is not mainly about the body, though that is the story everyone reaches for. It is about arithmetic, and a particular kind of tiredness that only arrives with years. After 50, a man does the math he could not do at 35. He looks at the years of effort, the years of reaching and being refused, and some part of him calculates that the runway is shorter now, that change is harder now, that starting over is a younger man's project, and so giving up disguises itself as realism. There is also the weight of accumulated rejection. At 40, a man has maybe a few years of cold marriage behind him. At 55, he may have 15. 15 years of small refusals do not just add up, they compound. Each one taught the nervous system that reaching equals pain, until the reaching itself was trained out of him. By the time he is past 50, the giving up is not a fresh choice. It is the final settling of a decade and a half of conditioning. He did not decide to quit. He was slowly taught to. And then there is the cultural silence aimed straight at his age. A younger man complaining about a dead bedroom gets sympathy, advice, options. A man past 50 who says it out loud gets a different message, spoken and unspoken. Be grateful. Act your age. That part of life is behind you now. So he swallows it. The world hands the older man a script that says, wanting intimacy is slightly undignified now, and a lot of men, exhausted and unsupported, accept the script because fighting it feels lonelier than living it. That is the machinery. Tiredness, compounding rejection, and a culture that tells him his desire has an expiration date. Together, they produce the quietest surrender there is. There is one more thing that lands specifically in this decade, and it is the heaviest of the lot. After 50, a man starts to feel time differently. In his 30s and 40s, the future felt unlimited, so a cold spell in the marriage felt temporary, fixable, something he would get to. After 50, he begins to sense the edges of his own life, and that sensing cuts two ways. For the man who gives up, it becomes the final excuse. There is not enough time left to rebuild, so why start? But for the man who comes back, that exact same awareness becomes the reason to refuse the surrender. There is not enough time left to waste it pretending I am already finished. Same arithmetic, opposite conclusion. The whole difference between disappearing and coming back to life is which way a man lets that one realization fall. Before I show you the cost and the way back, do one thing. If you recognized yourself in any of that, if you have felt that quiet giving up settle over your own house, type the word reaching in the comments. One word. I want you and every man past 50 watching this to see how many of us were taught to stop reaching and called it wisdom. You are not alone in this, and you are not as far gone as the numbness has convinced you. Now, what it actually costs, and then the way back. Here is what giving up actually costs, and why the relief you felt was a lie. When a man shuts down his desire to stop the pain of rejection, he does not get to shut down only that one thing. Desire is not a switch with its own wire. It runs on the same current as his drive, his appetite for life, his sense of being awake in his own days. Turn it off to protect yourself, and the whole current dims. This is why so many men past 50 describe the same grey flatness, the sense that nothing tastes like much anymore. They think it is age. A great deal of it is the price of the surrender they made in the dark and never named. It shows up in the body and the mind together, the sleep that never fully restores, the short fuse with people who did not earn it, the projects you used to care about that now feel like more weight to carry. A man who has given up at home often cannot understand why his ambition leaked away everywhere else because he never connected the two. But a man who has agreed to feel nothing in the most intimate part of his life has trained himself in feeling nothing, and that training does not stay politely inside the bedroom. It generalizes. It becomes how he meets everything. And the deepest cost is the one to his sense of himself as a man still in the game of life. There is a difference between a man who is at peace and a man who has quietly conceded. The man at peace stands easy. The man who conceded carries a low, permanent hum of defeat that he stops being able to hear because it never turns off. His wife feels it even when she cannot name it. His children feel it. He has become in his own home a man going through the motions of a life rather than living one. That is the real bill for the relief he felt that first night he stopped reaching. He did not buy peace. He bought a slow disappearance on an installment plan, and the payments come due every single day. So here is the thing that separates the men who disappear after 50 from the men who come back to life, the thing I promised you. It is not that the second group had warmer wives or easier marriages. It is that at some point they refused to accept that wanting was behind them. They drew a line quietly inside themselves, and the line said, I am still alive, and I am not going to spend the years I have left pretending I am not. Everything turns on that one private decision, and you can make it tonight, no matter how long it has been. And making it does not start with a conversation with your wife. It starts with reaching again, but not for her, for yourself first. The man who comes back rebuilds the parts of himself he let the surrender eat. He picks up the body he stopped tending, not to punish himself, but because a man who respects his own body stops broadcasting defeat. He picks back up the interests, the friendships, the standards he let slide when he decided life was mostly behind him. He becomes again a man with a current running through him. And a man with that current is a completely different presence in a house than a man going through the motions, and everyone in the house feels the change, including the woman who stopped noticing him years ago. Be careful here, because men here come back to life and turn it into a performance aimed at their wife, a loud project meant to make her notice. That fails every time, because it is just reaching in a new costume, and she will feel the neediness under it. The real thing is quieter. You start doing one thing that is yours again this week, without announcing it or watching her face for a reaction. You stop arranging your evenings to avoid her and start arranging them around something you actually care about. You let her see, over weeks, not days, a man who has stopped waiting for permission to be alive. You are not doing it to win her back. You're doing it because the alternative is to keep disappearing, and you are done disappearing. If her warmth returns, and it often does, it returns as a response to that, never as a response to pressure. And I will be honest with you about where this leads, because you have been lied to enough. Sometimes a man comes back to life and his wife slowly turns back toward the man she can suddenly feel in the room again. And they build something in their 60s warmer than what they had in their 40s. And sometimes a man comes back to life and discovers the marriage cannot hold the man he's becoming, and he has hard choices to make. But here is what is true in both cases. A living man past 50 has options, dignity, and years that are genuinely his. A man who quietly gave up has only the slow fade. So the choice was never really about her, and it never is. It is whether you will be awake for the years you have left. Reaching again is how you stay awake. That is what brings a man back. So go back to that night I described at the start, the night you stopped reaching and felt that strange relief. I want you to see it now for what it was. Not wisdom, not maturity. A good man, tired and unsupported, agreeing to disappear. You do not have to honor that agreement. You can break it tonight, quietly, the same way you made it, by deciding you are still here and still want to be. Not by chasing her, by coming back to life. Subscribe if you want the truth told to you straight, no fairy tales, and no pretending your best years are behind you. And remember the word in the comments. Look at how many men past 50 are standing in this exact place with you tonight, deciding to reach again. Thank you for watching and stay sharp.